I know, I'm going on, I apologise. Joe Satriani, everyone, what can we say? Absolutely, 100%, one of my top 5. I know my top 5 is growing into a top 10, top 20. But if I had to pick one who had the most effect on me, not necessarily the biggest influence ever, but 100% the most effect, as in melted my face, punched me right in the guts, was the album Surfing with the Alien by the almighty Joe Satriani. Back in the... It was released, I want to say really, really early 90s, maybe late 80s. But I would have heard it probably only like a year into my playing, and I was very much into all the stuff that was in my dad's record collection, so like Dave Gilmour, Mark Knopfler, and kind of like late 70s rock stuff. But hearing, it's because of my guitar instructor at the time, who I will talk about in the future, because again, he had a profound effect on me, opened my eyes to all of this stuff. Joe Satriani, hearing the Surfing with the Alien, the title track, just melted my face like you wouldn't believe. I was like, I had no idea. And bear in mind, I hadn't heard Van Halen or anything. So going from Pink Floyd, The Wall, to Surfing with the Alien, completely just blew my mind. I didn't know what I was hearing. And I just want to, again, I could go on forever about just that one track. But pretty much every track off the album had a huge effect on me. And I did my best to learn it. But as you can see, very much do my own version, you know, again, a version of, if you will. I skipped all the middle bit out there just because I'm in too much of a rush to get to the end to show you that bit. That's what we all used to do. We're all guilty of it as millennials, is when we got the CD player, you could fast forward without necessarily damaging it, not like with the old turntable, lift the needle. So obviously all that part is great. But really, I just wanted to hear. Oh, messed it up. That part, I just want to show you quickly. It's literally the top of a, if you'd call it, pentatonic, Mixolydian pentatonic kind of thing, major third, flat 7. Very much Eric Johnson kind of vibe. There it is. The whole point here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then another descending 3. I love it because it's quite displaced. Obviously, just because of my aggressive nature, I pick most of that, but I do believe he kind of uses a mixture of a couple of picks and pull-offs and stuff. But I wanted to point that one out because, again, had a drastic effect on me. Oh, I used to sit there with my headphones going, oh my God, that's amazing, oh my God, it's amazing. And it's a recurring theme. It's one of his sort of signature licks, if you will, even though he's a very incredible, diverse musician. He's still a guitarist. He's still in the heat of the moment. He'll go to the first position pentatonic and just go, wah, so you can hold your head back and you don't really have to worry about any kind of, you know, massive intervallic changes, darling. You can keep very, very old school. So you'll hear it in tracks on the same album, which I will talk about later, like that, the one with his most epic solo, which I will do. And you've got all that. He's got it at the top there. He also does it in... I'm digressing to Flying in a Blue Dream. I'll cover that in the future. Again, blew my mind, that album, especially the track. Everyone knows that with that. Obviously I'm playing that a little bit too quick, and he does do the whole, but I like the bit of sweeping in there. Anyway, let me rewind. So the whole solo at the end of the Surfing with the Alien, it's a bit of a callback to things like, you know, in the 70s, you've got Freebird with the huge solo at the end, Hotel California, all that kind of thing. So obviously it's like was a modern day version where he's just going pretty extreme and whacking in all those huge rock licks in there. As you can see, I had to kind of make it up and do my own thing here. I don't have a trem on this. So as for the big weird dive bomb, I just kind of have to go with it and make it up. Also, a few other things. When I first heard that, as you can imagine, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. I just listened and thought, what the hell is he doing? So when it came to the actual solo, he does the... can't even do it. I had no idea, so I was just, I don't know what he's doing. So I had to just go full on Van Halen, even though I didn't know what that was. So I just thought, if I was aware of tremolo picking... I digress there, but as you can see, again, no trem, so I have to just make do. So another little thing I'll show you there is, as for that real squeal bit that he probably played up here actually, but again I use really heavy strings here. I've got like 11 through 5th, I don't even know what they are. I'll get back to you with that. But as for that, when it comes to the really high thing that will rip my fingers open, I tend to, you'll notice it now, I'll adjust to like a lower down but use a harmonic. Same note, technically speaking, isn't it? Anyway, there you go. I don't know, I've rambled, don't I? But what a laugh it is to play that song. Oh, another thing I'll quickly tell you about is, I know I play it a lot quicker probably than it is on the record. I haven't listened to it for quite a while. But moving forward a little bit with Joe Satriani, he was my hero for ages. There was a song, sorry, not a song, a tape, the Satch Tapes, so like a VCR, video cassette recorder, very for you Gen Zs or whatever you are. That was this really old, you know, like a large cassette tape. You had to put it in and watch it. Yeah, you were. Don't worry about it. Many moons ago. But the Satch Tapes was like a documentary about Joe Satriani, and it was again another thing that blew my mind because you could actually see him. But on there is a live performance of the Surfing with the Alien, but it comes in. Because again, live back then, there was no backing tracks, there was no click track for the drummer. He didn't have headphones in. I don't think we had them. So he actually, the drummer, if he was a bit excited, full of adrenaline, he'd start the track, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see it, Joe Satriani on it, he's just like, oh, but he still gets away with it. His technique was that developed that he could still play within those sort of changes, within that tempo, I should say. But it did put the fear of God into me when I watched it, because I was like, I don't even, how the hell? But I did mention in one of my videos early on that when it came to actually doing my session career and playing as a, you know, for hire, a musician for hire, and playing in all these different bands, I never wanted to put myself in the position where I could just about play the song. I would always push at least 10%. Depending on the tempo, but I'd always push for a fast song at least 10% faster, and then when it comes to the night, you've got that little bit of a buffer for live performance nerves, and you know, like I said before, depending on whatever the drummer's snorted in the bathroom before he goes on. I've got some horror stories about that. I'll tell you later. But it just means that I've always done it that way. I've always pushed the envelope, as John Petrucci says, and worked on technique to the point that when it comes to live playing, I can really drop it back, and you can just enjoy what you're doing and actually listen to what you're playing rather than just going, oh, what did it, you know, and being fixated on, can I actually play this? Anyway, I haven't half rambled on, but that's Surfing with the Alien, one phrase from it, and I just, somehow, you need to apply that to your playing now. It doesn't even have to be the same phrase, it can be in pentatonic. see if you can whack an open D string at the same time. And that's a very Paul Gilbert kind of sound as well, he does there. I could go on forever, couldn't I? Anyway, Joe Satriani, ladies and gentlemen, and I shall cover all kinds of stuff of his in the future because, again, every album that he did there, probably up until, I think it was Crystal Planet when I had a long, but I think that was the last one I heard. And then, yeah, and then obviously I'm just coming back into it now, so I've probably got like 10 albums to get back into. Anyway, there you go. Practice that little sequence and put it in your playing, and I'll point it out in several of the tracks in the future. But as for now, keep practicing.